Okay, you guys. I want to talk about depression, my experience with it, and some reasons as to what's going on, how it's a beautiful thing, and just what I have found with depression. It's nothing new. It's not my first time in the rodeo. I've been through big spouts of depression, whether it's because of a breakup, finances, and to me, like, what does depression mean? Like, if we really look at depression, what is it? To me, I have found that depression is an energy of going deeper within myself, and I'm navigating parts that I've never been in before. So to me, it's like the depth of who I am as a spiritual being having a human experience is there's so many depths to me. And it's like thinking of the ocean, and the ocean is so vast, there's so much to it, and it's so deep. And it's like we're scuba divers as conscious beings, we're scuba divers going on the adventure of life, and it's almost like an initiation to go even deeper than we thought, right? So we're like in the depths of it. There's darkness. We can't see anything. It's so unknown. It's so scary, and it's bringing up so much. It's like ironic in that depression is I don't feel anything, and that's the scary part. It's like the void. It's like if you were to think of outer space and you enter a void, and you're in this like big field of consciousness and space of infinite possibilities, and you're just in pure darkness, and you're just like, oh my gosh. The ego's like, oh my gosh, am I ever gonna get out of here? Am I ever gonna come up to be able to breathe again? How long can I hold my breath? So really, it's a portal. Depression is a portal of entering new territory within the soul. And within these depths and within these darknesses, like last winter, I was hibernating in my room, just in it, just in the depression every day, crying every day, going deeper and deeper every day. And first things first, once we can actually surrender into the perceived depression, as soon as we can surrender, be like, okay, I'm in it, okay, I'm just gonna flow, and I'm in it, and I give. I'm not gonna try to fight it anymore. I'm just gonna float. Then we surrender to God, we surrender to our souls, we surrender to the Great Spirit to kind of like, okay, now how is this refining me, okay? What am I learning through this? What am I learning more about myself in this soul expansion phase? Because a lot of the time, depression will take us into a space of expanding more of our spiritual self and deflating the ego, okay? So the ego will resist it and be like, oh my gosh, what's going on? But the soul's just wanting to come into yourself more, to expand more into yourself, and to kind of tell the ego, hey, I know you have typically been taking charge of navigating this life, this school of life, but it's my turn. The soul's like, let me drive. Like, go sit in the back seat and you go have your panic attack, but I'm taking control, okay? And so the soul comes in, and it's a time to just surrender to the soul. Okay, soul, what is no longer in my favor? What's no longer serving me? Being so honest with myself. Is it a way of thinking? Is it a way of living? Is it certain habits? Is it certain people? Is it certain relationships? Is it a certain job? Like being so real. Like, what is not feeling comfy in my life? Is it being in debt? I know one of the big reasons that I spiraled into a deep, depth of depression, a lot of it was heaviness of like financial burden and that stress, right? So it's like, okay, it's going into the depths of how can I refine my life? It's like you're becoming a pearl with these waves and the depths like shaking you up and creating friction, and you are just, as a conscious being, bringing up to conscious what is not in your favor and not working in your life and feeling good in your life, and what is. Writing it down, journaling, becoming aware of it, and then starting to use that consciousness of refinement and then putting it into action. okay? And this process could take a long time. I was depressed for months. And it would come like spouts of even deeper depression, but I was in a darkness, a void for straight up like 6 months straight of just like, so you could sit in your room being depressed, not wanting to do anything and being like, I literally want to die. And people could perceive that as you're not doing anything with your life, you know, and once we remove that pressure, remove it. Because you are doing something. You're doing deep internal spiritual expansion work. Okay? You're doing work in depression. You're discovering more of who you truly are on a deep spiritual level. You're doing deep work of looking at your life and being so honest with yourself of like, this is not working. And allowing your soul to just be like, the Great Spirit, soul, God, just tell, like, reveal to me what I am to know at this time, in this time of vulnerability. So it's a huge portal of expansion, okay? So some reasons as to why you could be going through a depression: a spiritual awakening, your soul's wanting to expand even more. No sense of community is a big one. A lot of the time, especially with technology kind of taking over, it's so important for us. We are communal beings. It is so important for us to feel like we are in a community with like-minded people. I don't care if it's a church. I don't care if it's a volleyball league. I don't care if it's a painting class. I don't care if it's like a hiking get-together thing. Find people who think like you. I don't care if you're into gaming. Like, find people that you have something in common with and that you can relate to them to. Because the more we're social, the more we feel a sense of community and that support and that like-mindedness, the more that we can see more of ourselves. These people, these peers are showing us more of who we are. It's how we can see where we are at consciously. And it's how we can feel that deep sense of support and like we're all in this together. We are all students in the school of life. We chose to be in this school of life and to be around people where we're actually in each other's auras. We're actually making eye contact. We're actually can touch each other and hug each other and feel this sense of oneness and support. That's super important. Another one is sometimes depression can be superhuman and be like, I am lacking certain nutrients. Sometimes if you are missing certain nutrients in your diet, like, what's it called? Certain trace minerals. Like for me, one of my healers was like, you're lacking a lot of trace minerals, which is like core minerals of the earth, like the core minerals we need in our diet to feel replenished, to balance our pH, to give us energy, to just balance our bodies and our ecosystem in here, right? Through like the chemicals. So look at trace minerals, talk to your doctor, see like, what am I deficient in? Because that could be too why you're not feeling like you can have the energy to work out and get that dopamine and get that serotonin. You know, a lot of it is chemical too. It could be. So look at that. For me, debt. So the more debt that we go into, we need to hold that same level of faith that we can get out of it and that we can surrender to the Great Spirit to provide for us. So if we are mindlessly just going into debt because we are looking for some kind of feel-good thing to do, spending money feels good, it gives me that dopamine hit. Looking at our lifestyle, what am I spending money on? You know, the more we go into debt but we can't hold the frequency of faith, then it'll spin us into a vortex of overwhelmingness. Our root chakra begins to going so fast, and then it depletes your energy. It really depletes your energy. I don't think people realize how constant debt and getting more and more and more compounding debt can actually spiral you into chronic stress and fatigue and fight or flight mode. So maybe that might resonate with you. That's one of my really depths of depression was that. compounding, overwhelming feeling, and then it just felt so heavy, like just so in it. Stuck emotions. And this goes along with the soul coming in, wanting to be the main driver and expanding more into your humanness. Is when that happens, for me, I cried a lot. And this is so good because it's like we are 70% water-ish. So when we are crying, when these emotions are wanting to come up from our waters, I almost think of it like I'm cleaning out the trash in my personal ocean. I'm cleaning up the residue and what is not being, like, it's filtering out my personal ocean, my individual ocean, because the micro makes the macro, is being cleaned up and filtered out. Okay? So stuck emotions. If something, watch a sad movie and bawl your eyes out. If you're mourning something, if you're sad, give yourself full permission to feel, because how we heal is by feeling. And I mean feeling it to the depths to where it manifests out of your eyes. Clean out your eyes. Bring moisture into your eyes. Let this energy come up and out, and then it dissipates. You wonder why kids sleep so well? You wonder how they reset their energy? They cry. They cry. Animals cry. When you see a cow being taken away from its mother, it cries. We're animals having a human experience. So to be suppressed and like, I'm all good, I don't cry, like I'm over it, like nothing fazes it, it's bullshit. Your nervous system is all clogged up with all this trash. So anytime you feel emotion coming up, be like, yes, this is my time to clean out my waters so I can like feel renewed, energized. I'm not getting all backed up in my chakra nervous system, and I can feel more light and free and airy and more energized. Because after a good cry, you sleep better, you feel better, and it gives yourself full permission to feel the whole spectrum of emotion. If you can't cry, then you're numb. Then it's hard to feel an extreme sense of joy and sadness. Guess what? The Christ learned to feel it all. The great spiritual teachers could feel it all, the whole spectrum, but humans are so suppressed right now. It's like, no. If you want to be a badass, if you want to be happy and fulfilled in a deep way, you have to feel the whole spectrum. So don't be scared. Feel it, and then you'll feel good after. The pendulum will swing. And then once you can swing all the time, you're unbothered. Nothing can faze you, because you're like, yeah, I have felt the depths of that anger. I have felt the depths of that sadness. I have felt the depths of that loss. And because I felt it, I can feel the depths of joy and bliss and stokedness and creativity and laughter and like total bliss, right? So yeah, that's what I have for depression. Be excited about depression. Be in it. How is this refining you? What is it showing you? Talk to it. Talk to the depression. Feel where it is in your body. If you have certain thoughts, certain fears come up, where is it in your body? Send it light. Visualize light, pure light, electricity flowing from the gods to your crown, into the body, and bring a ball energy of light into where you're feeling in the body. Give it love. Surrender to it. And ask yourself, what are you teaching me? What are you showing me? What is the limiting belief system here that doesn't feel good? And what is the higher belief system that I can feel deeper in? We then become an alchemist. When we can begin to feel in these depths, when we can become attuned to what the darkness is trying to teach us, we become alchemists. And then we turn the density into light. We turn the silver into gold, because we are simply becoming aware of things that are wanting to be aware of. Aware of emotions, limiting beliefs, things, habits, people, places that are no longer serving us. Done.